TigerBee.com.
Hello to all of my TigerBee.com family and supporters out there. Welcome back to another video of my Inktober, Birdtober, and all of the Tober challenges. Let's start. Welcome back to another Inktober, Birdtober, and all of the Tober challenges. Starting off with the official Inktober challenge, which is Saddle, I wanted to make sure that this was taking up most of the space before I added the Birdtober official bird of the day, which is the Cape Batis. Once I got the sizing and proportion, I was ready to go with the final inking. Keeping the inking nice and light, I start with more so the body around the neck just to make sure I get the turning of the head correct first, and then I move on to the actual head itself. Looking at the eye from my reference photo, I wanted to make sure that that eye was coming through nice and clean before moving on to more furs and eventually moving on to the beak. This particular beak was nice and sharp at the edge, yet still short, so I wanted to make sure I gave it both attributes as strongly as possible, giving it some nice hairs throughout the body, and then eventually moving on to the tail. I got through this pretty quickly, and to be honest with you, I'm happy about that. Moving on to the legs, and obviously those claws as well. This is actually one of the first, if not only, bird that I've done with legs and, the feet as well. I'm happy to be able to add that to this roster of Inktober challenges. Now moving on to the saddle. I actually have a couple of different photo references that I wanted to intertwine what they were versus settling for one particular. If you see my work so far, you know that I try not to do the typical, and if I can, I'll throw in a remix in there as often as possible. Really working in the details towards the back end here before I move on to the side patch.
TigerBee.com.
Working in the seat, I wanted to make sure that I gave the seat a really strong, soft, comfortable seating look. So I went with the crosshatch format, as I saw only on a few, but I definitely liked it and wanted to incorporate it within my sketch as well. If you haven't so far, be sure to go back and check out some of the other Inktober pieces that I've done so far. I feel like I say this with each new video, but this is turning out to be one of my favorite ones so far this year. Moving on to the side, for those who don't know, I ride a motorcycle, so I wanted this saddle to feel like it could go on the back of a sports bike as well.
TigerBee.com.
Leaving room for just minor modifications and random hooks and things like that, I wanted the saddle to feel like it can fit multiple purposes versus just one. Adding in some light shading, as you can see, and making sure that everything that's supposed to be dynamic wise towards the front or back are really being pushed through those locations.
TigerBee.com.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to return for the next installment of TigerBee.com. Also, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, love, and share.